It's summer, and Grandpa Splat's taking my brother Digital and I on a road trip. He says we can't bring cell phones, iPods, or laptops. We're going into exile. Grandpa thinks too much technology will suck kids' brains out. I reminded him I'm 16, old enough to have my driver's license, and if I want to have my brain sucked out, it's legal. He wasn't having it, not on his road trip. We took off at a snail's pace with Grandpa at the wheel, and everyone was honking at us. Our first stop was a used bookstore. I never been to one before. I got a bunch of dusty comic books. Digital got ripped up skateboard magazines. Grandpa bought a torn up atlas of the U.S. with no cover. He wouldn't let us take a camera, so he got us books with blank pages. I said, how are we supposed to read this?
It's a journal. You can write and draw in it, like Michelangelo.
Our second stop was Vegas. Digital and I stood at the edge of the casino watching Grandpa. He lost all his quarters in a slot machine, so instead of sleeping in a hotel, we got downgraded to a motel with beds like cement. Next, we drove to the Grand Canyon, walked onto a see-through observation platform, and looked down. Digital got dizzy and threw up. I begged Grandpa to stop at an internet cafe. I felt trapped in a time warp before the invention of computers. Digital was driving me crazy. He brought his drumsticks and was banging out beats on the window, the front seat, and my head. I finished my comic books and I couldn't write another word in my journal. I was sick of playing tic-tac-toe with Digital, who, by the way, cheats. Then we passed a sign that read, "Welcome to the state of New York."
Julian, Digital, stop punching and kicking each other. We're going to the Big Apple.
Digital and I were psyched. We climbed the Statue of Liberty and rode a subway. Grandpa bought us skateboards, and we went to Central Park for a Splat family reunion. I met a whole bunch of cousins that look like me. It was awesome. Grandpa sold his Lincoln, and we flew home back to the future. I need a summer job. My mom said to check out the internet, so I sent out 378 job applications. I only got one response. They didn't tell me what kind of job it was, but the place was called the Paradise. So I got on the bus and rode downtown. The sign read, "Paradise Ballroom Dance School." I was psyched. I loved to dance. The owner's name was Rubelia. Her dance partner was Laszlo. She wore fancy sparkly clothes, lots of makeup, and her hair stood up 12 inches. Rubelia said she'd let me try out. She needed an assistant dance teacher. Then, she put an old scratchy record on the turntable. When I heard it, I said, wait a minute. I pulled out my iPod, put in my earplugs, and started dancing to electronic club banging stuff. Rubelia kept playing a record, but I kept dancing my way. When I finished, she thanked me and said this was a dance school for senior citizens. She didn't want to break their bones. I just kept looking for jobs. pinata store and told them I love to bust pinatas. I went into a tire shop and told them I'd jump on their tires for testing. At an office, I told the receptionist I'd sharpen her pencils. She told me to get lost. That hurt. I just kept looking. The summer was almost gone, and I still couldn't find a job. One day, I got on the bus. A man I always see sitting up front sat next to me. He said his name was Armando. He asked me,
Chico, why do you ride the bus every day?
I told him I was looking for a summer job, but no one hired me. He said,
Well, I will have to hire you. Riding the bus every day, looking for a job shows good character.
That made me feel great. Armando makes guitars for mariachis. If I work for him, he'll teach me how to play guitar. I start next week. I always wanted to be a mariachi.
Dale, 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 dale.